What if the greatest warrior in history was not defined by how many opponents he defeated, but by how deeply he understood himself? Bruce Lee was never just a martial artist. He was a philosopher disguised as a fighter, a thinker hidden behind motion, a man who used combat as a language to express truth. His words remain powerful because they were not invented for motivation. They were forged through discipline, pain, rejection, and relentless self-inquiry. Bruce Lee did not seek to dominate others. He sought to liberate the human spirit from limitation. Bruce Lee once said, "Be water, my friend." This is perhaps his most famous line, yet it is also one of the most misunderstood. When Bruce Lee spoke of water, he was not speaking poetically. He was speaking philosophically. Water has no shape, yet it takes the shape of anything it enters. It can flow gently or crash with overwhelming force. It adapts without losing its essence. Bruce Lee believed that rigidity is the enemy of growth. Fixed systems break under pressure. Flexible minds survive. His philosophy rejected tradition not because tradition was wrong, but because blind attachment creates stagnation. To be water was to respond intelligently to reality, not emotionally to expectation. Bruce Lee also said, "Absorb what is useful, discard what is useless, add what is uniquely your own." This sentence defines his entire approach to life and combat. Bruce Lee trained in Wing Chun, boxing, fencing, philosophy, psychology, and physical conditioning. He respected tradition, but he refused to be enslaved by it. He believed that truth is not owned by any system. It must be discovered through experience. This belief led him to create Jeet Kune Do, not as a style, but as a process. He rejected labels because labels freeze understanding. Bruce Lee taught that growth requires selective thinking. Not everything deserves loyalty. Wisdom demands discernment. Bruce Lee once said, "Knowing is not enough. We must apply. Willing is not enough. We must do." This quote reveals his intolerance for passive knowledge. Bruce Lee believed that theory without action is intellectual vanity. He was obsessed with application. His training was brutally practical. Every movement had purpose. Every repetition served reality. He believed that the body must express what the mind understands. Knowledge that remains unused weakens the spirit. Bruce Lee lived this principle. He trained relentlessly. He tested himself constantly. He believed that truth must survive contact. Another revealing quote from Bruce Lee is, "Long-term consistency trumps short-term intensity." Though phrased differently in various writings, this principle guided his life. Bruce Lee did not believe in sudden transformation. He believed in daily discipline. He trained even when unmotivated. He studied when exhausted. He refined himself incrementally. His physique, speed, and power were not accidents. They were the result of years of focused effort. Bruce Lee understood that intensity fades, but consistency builds identity. Bruce Lee famously stated, "I fear not the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks once, but I fear the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times." This quote is not about fighting. It is about mastery. Bruce Lee believed that depth is superior to breadth. Mastery is achieved through repetition with awareness. He rejected shallow accumulation of techniques. He believed excellence emerges when one principle is fully embodied. This applies to any craft. Bruce Lee's philosophy teaches that true power comes from refinement, not excess. Bruce Lee also said, "The successful warrior is the average man with laser-like focus." This statement dismantles the myth of natural superiority. Bruce Lee was not born invincible. He was small, fragile, and underestimated. He became formidable through focus. He believed that concentration is a weapon. A distracted mind cannot achieve precision. A scattered life cannot achieve greatness. Bruce Lee trained his attention as intensely as his body. He believed focus converts effort into power. Another core belief appears in his words. As you think, so shall you become. Bruce Lee studied Eastern philosophy deeply, especially Taoism and Zen Buddhism. He understood that identity is shaped internally before it manifests externally. He believed that fear, doubt, and limitation are mental constructions. To change the self, one must first change thought patterns. Bruce Lee treated the mind as the origin of all performance. His philosophy aligns closely with Stoic principles. External circumstances matter less than internal interpretation. Bruce Lee also warned, if you love life, do not waste time, for time is what life is made up of. This reflects his acute awareness of mortality. Bruce Lee lived with urgency, not anxiety. He trained, studied, wrote, and created relentlessly because he understood time as finite. He did not waste energy on ego battles or empty tradition. He believed that every moment unused was life unexpressed. His discipline was fueled by respect for time. Bruce Lee often said, "Do not pray for an easy life. Pray for the strength to endure a difficult one." This quote reveals his philosophy of resilience. He did not believe in comfort as a goal. He believed struggle was necessary for growth. Bruce Lee faced racism, rejection in Hollywood, and physical injury. Instead of bitterness, he developed strength. He believed adversity sharpens character. Avoiding difficulty weakens the soul. Bruce Lee also stated, "A wise man can learn more from a foolish question than a fool can learn from a wise answer." This reflects his humility. Despite his skill, Bruce Lee remained a student. He valued inquiry over ego. He believed questions open doors while certainty closes them. This mindset allowed him to evolve constantly. Bruce Lee rejected arrogance. He believed humility is essential for learning. Bruce Lee's philosophy of freedom appears in his words, "All fixed set patterns are incapable of adaptability or pliability." The truth is outside of all fixed patterns. He believed systems become prisons when treated as absolutes. This was revolutionary in martial arts culture. Bruce Lee challenged dogma. He encouraged individuals to think independently. His philosophy teaches that truth is alive, not static. Growth requires adaptability. Bruce Lee also believed deeply in self-honesty. He said, "To know oneself is to study oneself in action with another person." He understood that self-knowledge emerges through challenge. Comfort conceals weakness. Conflict reveals it. Bruce Lee viewed life as a mirror. Others expose our blind spots. He embraced feedback, even when painful. This allowed continuous refinement. One of Bruce Lee's most introspective statements was, "Showing off is the fool's idea of glory." He rejected ego-driven performance. He believed true confidence is quiet. Bruce Lee disliked empty display. His power was controlled. His movements were efficient. He believed humility preserves strength. Bruce Lee also stated, "The key to immortality is first living a life worth remembering." He did not fear death. He feared insignificance. Bruce Lee wanted his life to express truth. He wrote extensively about self-actualization. He believed that living authentically was the highest form of success. Bruce Lee believed that emotional control defines strength. He said, "A quick temper will make a fool of you soon enough." He trained emotional discipline as carefully as physical skill. He understood that anger clouds judgment. True power is control, not aggression. Throughout his life, Bruce Lee emphasized that self-expression was the highest aim. He said, "All knowledge ultimately means self-knowledge." His philosophy centered on authenticity. He rejected imitation. He urged individuals to express their own nature fully. This belief made him timeless. He was not replicable because he did not copy. Bruce Lee's life was short, but his philosophy was complete. He died at 32, yet his influence continues to grow. His words endure because they are grounded in experience. They were lived, not imagined. He transformed martial arts, cinema, and philosophy by refusing limitation. Bruce Lee teaches that strength without awareness is dangerous. Speed without control is chaos. Knowledge without action is wasted. Discipline without flexibility becomes rigidity. His philosophy balances force with flow, discipline with freedom, action with awareness. Bruce Lee was not just training fighters. He was shaping minds. He believed that the greatest battle is internal. Fear, doubt, and attachment are the real enemies. Victory begins with self-mastery. His legacy reminds us that the human spirit thrives when it is free, that growth requires discomfort, that truth requires courage, and that to be fully alive, one must be willing to adapt, learn, and express without fear. This is the philosophy of Bruce Lee. Not a system, but a process. Not a style, but a way of being. A legacy built not on dominance, but on self-realization. Not on force, but on understanding. Not on tradition, but on truth.